When a worker resistance movement was forming on one of House of Stone's moons, the Karagan trade baronies decried, calling out the worker to be ungrateful for the bounties the baronies have given them. The resistance gladly took on the word. To be grateful is to approve oppression and exploitation of the people. To be grateful is to support a system of systemic abuse. To be grateful is to step upon the freedom ones deserve. To be ungrateful is to oppose all that. The Ungratefuls is a name given to the members of a widespread resistance movements within the Karagan trade baronies. The resistance originated from indentured laborers in mines operated by the now defunct House Lutra, a minor house pledged to House of Stone. Originally a local opposition movement, the massacre of the striking workers turned the movement into a full-blown armed rebellion. The term has become a point of pride for partisans, agents, agitators, and organizers within the resistance, but they do not use it to describe themselves. Comrades, siblings, and other affectionate terms of address are used instead, and for a more broadly used term, free people are used by the members of the resistance instead. Today, the Ungratefuls have a rather complicated relationship with the baronies, and even that might as well be an understatement. Now, the Ungratefuls are a political party and force, a partially underground and illicit one. Their above-ground political power is locked to Free Sanjak, formerly Lutra's world, a technically free state within the baronies which has been subjected to baronic blockage since it has been liberated centuries ago, a compromise position decided by the Baronic Council after appeals from more liberal baronic factions, ungrateful representatives, and Union Department of Justice and Human Rights negotiators. This trade embargo basically prevented those on the planet to exploit its rich mineral wealth. In the underground, however, the Ungratefuls inspired many resistance movements across the galaxy with their messages of liberation. Primarily, the focus of the Ungratefuls is on targeted harassment of political enemies and the organization and radicalization of laborers, especially those in the mines, factories, and fields of the baronies. But beyond that, ungrateful cells are varied in scope place to place. Some cells focus on direct actions in their mines, factories, farms, and worlds. Others direct their actions on baronies and beyond. Some even target Union for being the ultimate enabler of the system, which unfortunately, isn't that wrong, as it was only a brief 500 years ago that the SECOM has been replaced by the Third Com, and while things have changed, it isn't fast enough for those that suffered. Methods employed by the Ungratefuls vary too, ranging from peaceful strikes and demonstrations, education programs in the mines, to major attacks on baronic assets and VIPs, and sometimes the target included Union in the scope. While there really isn't uniform or standard kit for the resistance, in open combat and political actions, members of the Ungratefuls tend to wear sky blue, representing the color of the sky outside of the mines where the movement began. The most interesting fact about the Ungratefuls is that they often employ Horus technologies, systems, and weapons. Union Intelligence Bureau and Karagan Royal Intelligence theorized that the movement's leaders have direct contact with deep Horus elements, as ungrateful cells often used previously unseen Horus technologies, systems, and pattern groups. It might even be possible that right in its inception, Horus might have a hand in aiding the movements. Of course, these are just theories with no concrete proofs propping them up. While the Ungratefuls' relationship with Union isn't exactly what one would call friendly, active missions are being conducted by Union Intelligence Bureau to supply the Ungrateful with weapons and technologies on Free Sanjak and Dawnline Shore, so they could level the field in their fight for better worlds. While there are Ungratefuls all across Union spaces, they are most active in the baronies and Dawnline Shore. But, the Dawnline Ungratefuls is a tad different. You see, the Dawnline Ungratefuls is inspired by the original resistance, but instead of being against the baronies, they are funded and supplied by the baronies, against the Harrison Armory. That's because the Dawnline Ungratefuls is mostly consisted of former Armory legionnaires, or even descendants of them who aren't very happy about Harrison Armory barging in Dawnline Shore after they have settled the place for quite a long while. I will not be surprised if some armory gears are found among the Ungratefuls in the baronies soon afterward. Ultimately, the Ungratefuls are as varied as the members within the movement. It didn't matter if their fights are at local, or intergalactic scale, or even against an entirely different opponents. Against a system that seeks to create classes of exploited people, the Ungratefuls and its many derivatives will rise up against it. To be grateful is to support a world where oppression is the norm, and to be ungrateful is to oppose all that. Hello there, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell button. If you really want to support my channel, You could visit my Patreon page, or buy me some coffee, links in the description. Anyway, have a nice day.